Good afternoon, good morning or good evening or whatever the time of the day or night it is. You're tuning into First Report.
At the 34? I lost count at 8. But a sunny welcome to you.
And middle of winter, can you believe it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How's global warming going for you back home?
Oh no.
Anyway, as you can see out in front of the beehive, Fletch, first week back after recess. Good to be here actually.
Actually, it was nice coming back, to be honest. I spent a week here doing the Youth Parliament program, supporting the Youth Parliament program, and that was fantastic. Loved it. But managed to bring the family down, so that was
perfect.
nice.
Yeah, a bit of quality time. Mine came down as well. But it does knock you for a bit of a row of cans, doesn't it, when you come back, because you're in the office at 7 o'clock in the morning, and most people don't know this, and not leaving till after midnight.
Yep.
And you start
you soon get out of that habit when you have a recess. Still working, but
I can see the people back home don't care.
You're
starting to fall asleep. Rightio. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
So tell us then. You've just read the latest stats on immigration. So tell us what's happening.
Yeah, they've been out for about a month now. In actual fact, I only just found them because I just did a story in Sun Live this week talking about immigration down to about 29% of what it was under national at the peak. But in actual fact, we're down to 49% of what we were under national. 73,400 net they had at the peak of their migration numbers coming into New Zealand. Now we're down to 36,800. Oh, wow. So it's 49% reduction in immigration numbers. Now, just a reduction in immigration is great, but it's what the flow-on positive effects that has. Obviously, it takes away the pressures from our housing. So housing stock
and that's still massive. There's no denying that.
Yeah, we haven't got that problem fixed. But we're on the way. But it takes pressure off our hospitals, our schools, and our roads. So we can't fix the problems of 9 years of under a previous government, but we can actually work towards fixing those, and that is a very clear indication that we are very, very keen on fixing.
Absolutely.
But the big one, Fletch, that I think people back home need to know about is that we've got an 81% reduction in foreign property speculators. So foreigners buying up New Zealand houses has been dropped by 81%. So,
I mean, we set out to achieve that, and that's exactly what's happening. So, you go into Parliament to achieve things, and that's one of them, and that's pretty stark. It's great.
There's a couple of policies that we're working on right at the moment to try and bring back some of those foreign-owned properties back into the New Zealand market, which will help balance and reset some of those prices, particularly in those high-demand areas like Auckland and Tauranga, Queenstown, etc. But watch this space; it'll be definitely worth tuning into.
Lots of approaches there, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Fletch, let's just talk for a moment about law and order, but particularly on the announcements that we've been made about the gun buyback. Tell people back home, we had a meeting last night with the Minister of Police.
We met with Minister Nash, the Minister of Police, doing some great work, and not so much the buyback I want to talk about, it's the stuff that's happening at the same time. So, there's an amnesty for gang members to hand in their weapons, and to be honest, if you know anyone, tell them to do it, because the great thing as far as New Zealand First is concerned is the penalties for possessions of illegal firearms increasing hugely, and we will come down hard on gangs if they've still got those illegal weapons.
21st of December, the amnesty finishes, and then the 22nd of December, doors are going to be kicked in, and there's going to be some serious charges laid against people with illegal firearms. But great for the police to take the stance, no questions asked. Bring in your illegal firearms, whatever it may be, hand them into the police right now and walk away.
And the other thing we learnt last night talking to Minister Nash was some simple numbers. So New Zealand First, proud of the 1,800 new police on the force, but 700 of those are being dedicated to organised crime. So we're taking this incredibly seriously, and that's going to make a huge difference to not only the gun issues, but drugs and all of that. So
dealing with organised crime and just dealing with crime in general, which has got out of control, and we all know it. The statistics that we heard under the previous 9 years were, crime is down, but it's not how it feels on the street. The houses were getting broken into, and there was about
dairies and
less than 10% chase up on those crimes that were being committed, and those numbers are now increasing. We're getting better outcomes, and crime is absolutely on the
I don't know what the time is on the clock. I can't quite see for the sunlight, but I do want to shout out to Minister Parker. This government's taking on the RMA. And I'm incredibly proud of that, but shout out to Parker, because that's a big weight to put on your shoulder. It's going to take a lot of good people in a long time, but proud that
800 pages to get through.
Proud that we've started down that journey. It needs to be done, so kudos.
Yeah, good call. Absolutely. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll call it quits there, and we'll see you next week for another sunny, exciting episode.
I hope it's sunny. We'll try and come out again.
See you, mate.
Cheers.